The area championships are behind us, and now it's about the Sweet 16. It's finally here, but only one team can move on, while the others will have to deal with the bitter taste of defeat.
WDHN's Christian Jones is live in Montgomery with the latest for us tonight. Christian?
Yeah, Jessica, Joseph, it was an action-packed day of Wiregrass hoops, but only a select few are worthy enough to move on to the Elite Eight. We got our action started off with a battle of the Bulldogs as Kinston took on Brantley with a spot in the next round on the line. Picking things up at the start of the second half, Kinston holding a 16-point lead, but you can make the argument that the Wiregrass squad, they got a little too comfortable with that advantage. Coming out of the gates, Brantley was putting the pressure on Kinston, forcing multiple bad turnovers, leading to some easy points in transition. But luckily for Kinston, they have players like Alex Williamson and Lauren Norris on their squad. Norris was elite on both ends of the floor, finishing with 17 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block, while Williamson put on a performance for the ages, finishing with 29 points and 18 boards to go along with 4 takeaways. And history has been made down here in the Gump as Kinston, they win big by a score of 63-42, moving on to the Elite Eight for the first time in school history and tying the school's record for wins in a season with 26. But for the team's head coach, he would like to see his squad clean up their mistakes before their next matchup against Southern Choctaw.
Yeah, I think we've done a pretty good job of not turning the ball over all year. We did have, we were sloppy there late in the second half, and we were sloppy at times coming out, throwing lazy passes across the court, not seeing the open man opposite, and just kind of throwing some passes late. So we'll definitely work on it. We haven't had a lot of teams press us this year, honestly. We did work on it, but we haven't seen game type situations a whole lot this year. Well, I mean they didn't make it here, this far because they're not any good. I know they're fast, and I know they're going to be hungry to get to the Final Four just like we are. So I expect it to be a good game. I wouldn't.
And we got a battle of the dogs and the kitties as the Geneva County Bulldogs took on the Laverne Tigers. And coming out, it would be Geneva County getting out to a hot start, knocking down a couple of shots from the 3 while also converting from inside. Starting this one on a 12-1 run, and it looked like the dogs could do no wrong. That was until they let the Tigers finally settle in. Once Laverne got a feel for things, they were wreaking havoc on both ends of the floor. Defensively, if they weren't causing multiple turnovers thanks to an intense press defense, they were locking down the paint, basically forcing Geneva County to convert from the perimeter, and it worked. Going into halftime, Laverne was able to climb out of that hole and go into the locker room leading 29-28. The Tigers, they would go on to ride that momentum all the way to the end, winning this one by a score of 53-48. But even with the loss, this Geneva County team made strides that few thought would be possible for this year.
We came out, and I mean they were ready to play and give credit to our guys. I mean this is something that if we're being honest, I don't know if they even expected to be in this be here, and they came out ready to play, and I think Laverne got settled in, and I think that they started to adjust and things like that, and when it came down to when they were having when they finally were getting shots in the half court, and we gave up a couple too many offensive rebounds and kind of let them kind of claw back into things, and that's when things kind of became even.
And we also got a rematch of last year's Elite Eight with the Abbeville Yellow Jackets taking on the Providence Christian Eagles. And when you think a back-and-forth matchup, this game was all that and then some. Coming out of the locker room, Providence Christian held on to a 7-point lead, but the Yellow Jackets opened up the third period looking to turn the tables, connecting on 50% of their shots. If Abbeville would have made their free throws, we might be having a different conversation. But in the end, history would not repeat itself as the Eagles, they get their revenge, raiding out the Yellow Jackets 48-41. But they weren't the only Eagles looking to fly away with a victory, because the guys were also in action as the reigning state champions took on the Ariton Purple Cats. And when you have a player like Pierce Boone on your squad, it tends to make things a lot easier. But it wasn't a one-man show. The board man gets paid, and the Eagles were cashing in, dominating on the glass on both ends of the floor, but especially on offense. Now, Ariton did have some fight in them, making some tough shots, but it just would not be enough as the Purple Cats, they would go on to fall 68-37. Now, I know that is a lot to process, but don't worry, the action is just now getting started. Over the next couple of days, multiple more Wiregrass teams will be right here on this court looking to punch their ticket into the next round. And I will be here with you with all of the highlights, so please be sure to stick around with WDHN. As for now, I'm pretty sure I'm close to getting kicked out, and I am very tired. I'm going to try to go home and get some sleep, but we are here at Garrett Coliseum. Christian Jones, WDHN News for the Wiregrass.